Mining stock boom, guys. Also, metals, I believe, is about to follow as well too when it comes to that sort of stuff there. But I want to start. I want to start off with something that in today's video about the actual oil market as well too, because oil is looking quite weak in this market right now. We tried to break up. We've tried to break up a few times right now, and now oil is looking really, really, really weak. And the way this is setting up is that oil could be getting ready for a really big drop on the downside coming real soon. It's tried to break up. It's struggling right now, and now it's starting to really roll over on the USO market from there. So, oh, by the way, traders, I'm running a webinar today. On the webinar, I'm going to teach you all the details to my trading system, how I trade the markets. I'm going to just teach you all the details to it. So if you want to learn how I trade, that first link in the description, go join my webinar that I'm running today. And I'll teach you everything about how I trade the markets. I'll teach you my system for free. And then I'll show you exactly my AI scans and how I scan to find these trades and how I utilize options and how I trade options. And I'll teach you everything, guys. Just go join it and I'll show you everything there. So looking at the oil market right now, this is actually quite interesting right now. Okay. So if you look at oil hasn't been on my radar for the next big move. And you guys would know that, right? If you've been following me now for the last few months, you know I'm looking for the pockets of opportunity. Hence the reason why I'm very big focus on the metals and also the silver mining sector in particular, right? I'm actually in the silver mining sector. So this big move that's happening right now, I've been told, like, if you guys have been following me now for the last few months, you would know that that's the thing I've been focusing on, right? I'm always looking for the markets I'm likely to make the next big move. I've stayed away from oil market because oil market has no probability. In fact, we're actually still in a very big, strong downtrend. If we have a look at this weekly chart here, look at this weekly chart. So there's actually, is it going to break up? Is it going to break down? There's no probability. In fact, right now, there's actually a big probability now that this break to the upside was just a short-term little break to the upside, and maybe we're going to continue to the downside because we are still trending down. So market didn't break out to the upside, and as you can see here, look what's happening right now with all this market here, right? Look at this here. So we developed this point all through here, right? We developed all that point through there. And as you can see, so when it comes down to this market here, we actually broke up. So no, we didn't break out. We're actually in no man's land right now. Again, this is the reason why I personally am not focused on oil right now, because there's no probability, right? In fact, the more probability is a big drop to the downside because that's where the big weekly charts are. Big weekly charts are probably going to have, and this is the reason why, right? Look at this here. The trend is your friend until the end, right, guys? High, lower high, and another lower high. Moving average is trending down. So trend is lower highs. Moving average, which is the momentum in the market. I use the moving average as momentum. Guess what? That's also been trending down this entire time as well too. So this is probably just a short-term little rally to the upside. And if I take everything off the screen here, in fact, if I just do this here, let me see if I can. Let me do that for you, right? As you can see, that's what's been going on right now. And so we've just been, that was the resistance, that's the resistance, and now we're breaking to the downside. So we could be getting ready for, and again, you can see this through here, right? But if I go to my daily charts, look what's been happening. We've been struggling here. So again, for me personally, I haven't been focused on the oil market. I've been waiting for a trigger to get involved with it, but I'm not involved in the oil market. No way. My focus has been the mining sector, metals and miners, by the way. Right? But look at this here. We woke up, we broke down, struggled, and we're breaking down now on this daily chart. So, and we're struggling right now. So we could be getting ready for a drop back down to here. And if things continue that way, then possibly a deflationary period is going to start to kick into place. And especially if we're going to go through a deflationary period into a recession, then we could start to see oil have a pretty big drop on the downside, and it could get quite narrow on the downside. So that's what I'm seeing there with oil, right, guys? We tried to go up, we just struggled right now. For me personally, I'm not getting involved with oil. I was waiting for a good opportunity. It didn't give me an opportunity. So I've been sort of just exiting stage left, and actually not even getting involved with the oil market there. So that's a bit of an update around oil there, guys. And what I'm seeing there, I'm still waiting for an opportunity from there. But looking at the other markets from here, guys, and let's go to this market here. We look at this market here and we go, let's go to the actual stock market itself. Stock market is continuing to actually roll over here, right? So we're actually getting a very short term rolling over. We actually struggled to move up. I was seeing that maybe we're going to actually see one more push to the upside, right? So one more push to the upside from here, there to there to there, right? All through there. And then we actually start to see the here. But what's happening right now is we're actually starting to, we're high and low. So we're probably going to have another move to the downside here on that. That's the Dow Jones. If we have a look at the NASDAQ's not giving the same level from there, meaning we're actually still rallying just slightly higher right now on the NASDAQ. Looking at the S&P 500, again, like even if we do get a push back up to 6,500, 6,600 at the most, we're getting towards the end of the move. So for me right now, as you've heard me say many times, the stock market is not the place to be when it comes to looking for the next big move, right? It's already made a big move. So I'm not getting involved with the stock market myself. I've been exiting, and where I've been focusing on is the mining sector, right? So in particular, the silver mining sector. And you can see what happened with the silver mining sector today. This is what the SIO is the one market that I've been focusing on, and trading, by the way. And also, so the silver and the silver mining sector have been the markets I've been really focusing on lately. When it comes to this level here, big breakout today. Again, guys, for the last month, I've been saying to you guys, the next big move is probably going to be the mining sector. The next big move is probably going to be I've been warning you guys, and now we're actually doing it right now. We're taking off through here. Now, what may happen, and just by looking at this level from here, we've had a very big breakout. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 big up days with a lot of volume here. We may actually get a bit of a pause first. I wouldn't be too surprised if we actually get like just a little bit of a pause here first and then continue up. And if it does start to really heat up, then as you can see, the next resistance is up there around the $80 level. So this actually could be the start of a really big parabolic move, or to the upside, up to around about that 75 level. Now, when I say parabolic move, let's actually see how that works. One, yes, we can actually see this, right? Like we can actually see that. That is possible, right? But also we can also see where that if that's going to happen, we can also see where the market actually breaks out, has a bit of a pause, breaks up. That's probably what's like going to happen, right? That's what happens with a very big bull market from there, right? That's actually what we see from there. So the silver mining sector is, again, this is the sector I've been focusing on myself for my own personal trading. And so far, we've actually got to a breakout. So the whole mining sector itself has been the focus for me for the last month. Everything is already, stock market's way too high. Ethereum and Bitcoin have already made their moves. Platinum, I made a nice big profit on that there. Now I'm honing on the silver mining sector. And again, guys, if you want to know exactly the system I'm using, join my webinar today. I'll teach you all the details. So when you come to the silver mining sector, you're like, oh, I can see the reason why he likes this stock, because you see the pattern I'm using, right? So that's what's happening through there. Looking at the SILJ, same thing, very big move to the upside, big move, lots of volume coming in as well too. And also the GDXJ definitely held support, nice big move to the upside. There's some really big moves. This is the start of something really big, guys. The big breakout and the start of something really big is happening in the mining sector. As you can see, there's a lot of, and the good thing about this level here is, as you know, most people will be focusing on what? The Bitcoin market, the AI stocks, the stock market. What have I been doing? What have I been saying to you guys for the last month? Right? What have I been saying? Guys, that's all been done and dusted. Yes, I took advantage of Ethereum. So yes, Ethereum did have made a big move, but I took advantage of down here before the big move. I think Ethereum actually has a lot more move to the upside, by the way. I think this is the start of something really big and a lot higher prices. ETHE is the actual the ETF that for Ethereum from there. Okay, so looking at this level here, now looking at gold as well too. Gold is continuing to hold here really strongly. You see this here from a weekly chart perspective. We're just going sideways through here, so we could be getting ready for a really big breakout. I actually would have been too surprised, and I'm waiting for this personally. I would have been too surprised to see a real big breakout here happening on the gold market. So the GLD price, this is the GLD here. If we can start to get a real big strong breakout here, like a real big strong up candle, up bar, boom, 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 right? And we get an incredible spike in volume, that tells me we're getting ready for, that's the start to me. That says that we're likely now get ready for the one last move out of the markets. That might last a few days, a few weeks, I don't know, right? But it's likely to start. And then with all that being said, that's when we're getting towards the end of this bull market, by the way, guys, right? The end is near. Gold bull market is the end is near when it comes to the gold bull market. But I believe we have one more push to the upside, and how that actually looks on the charts. If I bring up my weekly charts here, and we can see this through here, what that looks like is probably going to be this. Okay, so if we have a look, I'll bring up the actual gold chart itself. I believe we could actually see a move back up to 4,000. I'm using 4,000 because it's a round number. That's a guess, by the way, guys. That's a guess, right? No, I'm not using any Fibonacci extensions or mathematical calculations or any of that. I'm just like, that's the next round number, right? Because every round number seems to be, there's 3,000, right? There's the 2,500, and every time that seems to be a pretty good, the 2,000 number as well too. That's the 2,000, which was a major resistance support back there. So it seems like every 500 points in the gold market seems to be pretty good, right? So right now, this is roughly around the 3,500. Once it breaks that, we're probably going to make a nice move back up towards the 4,000 level. Now, again, guys, this is probably going to be the end of this move, okay? So yes, while I'm looking for a trading opportunity, it's going to be a trading opportunity. No, this is not the next big move to 5,000, 10,000. Now it may be, right? But I'm not banking on that. I'm banking on one big more blow-off move, and then you're going to get people coming out saying, here we go, gold 10,000. By the way, I believe gold 10,000 is coming, but that's what's probably going to happen towards the end of the year. Then we're going to get one more push to the upside, and then 2006 is going to be this year. Stock market's going to get hit. The mining sector is going to get hit. Gold and silver are going to get hit. The stock market's going to get hit. Probably even Ethereum is going to get hit. Next year's probably going to be a weak year. That's a guesstimate, by the way, guys. Not an actual whatever, right? We're probably going to see a very weak move. But for now, we'll probably finish this year off really strong when it comes to the gold sector from there. Now, looking at the silver mining sector, silver sector, I've been very, very, very bullish here. And one of the things, if I bring on the SLV chart, as you can see, what's happening on the SLV chart itself is we actually got a bounce here recently. So if I bring on my daily charts here, if I bring on these trend lines, this support level back here, as you can see, we came up, came down, and found support on this support level here, and now we're bouncing back up again, right? So look what's happening. That support level there, by the way, is if I bring on my weekly charts, that's the support level there. This whole massive level of resistance all through here, that's that massive level of resistance. And now we're finding a lot of support level all through here as well too, right? So we're getting a lot of support level from here. And now we're getting a bounce off, which is quite nice. And if I zoom right in, we're getting a nice, again, that's that major resistance level, we're getting a bounce up. So it looks like that silver could be getting ready for a really nice move back to the upside. And if it does, then we could possibly start to see silver getting ready for a really, really, really big move. So it looks like 42 could be under the way when it comes to the SLV. By the way, bit of FYI, I had someone in my comment section say, John, you haven't mentioned SLV in a while. SLV is silver. You do know that, right? So when I don't mention SLV, but I mention silver, they're basically the same thing, right? So just understand that. So that's what I'm seeing there from there, guys. I've been very bullish silver. For me, it's been the silver and the silver mining sector for me when it comes to my trading opportunities, and I see a lot more upside to come from there. But once again, guys, I hope you can see the way that I personally trade and the way that I'm looking at this is I'm looking for those pockets of opportunities that's likely to make the next big move. Hence the reason why I've been so bullish, especially on the mining sector. And so therefore the mining sector has been the one that's had a big breakout. And I think there's a lot more to come.